Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 NFL AFC Divisional Playoff preview between the San Diego Chargers and the Denver Broncos. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Chargers. The San Diego Chargers have to be able to run the football versus the Denver Broncos, and I'm going to show you how they can get that done out of the twins formation, running the inside zone. I'm a big fan of running the inside zone out of twins because it sets up the cutback lane for a guy like Danny Woodhead or even Ryan Matthews to see it, hit it, and take it to the house. I'm showing you what we're talking about here. Base 4-3 set. We have the linebacker walked out on this slot receiver, and what we're going to do, your zone steps, straight front side, blocking up, boom, kicking out. So he can take his trip front side and still be fine because we're going to have the receiver work up to try to get that safety. And what we're doing on the backside, the weak side, we're having the center and a guard combo this defensive tackle with the guard working up to the backer. So trying to get this tackle block, and we're kicking out the defensive end. Base block here, have the receiver work up to get the free safety block. So you see where the hole is. You can keep it front side if the blocking suggests this. You keep it front side, or you see where the cutback is. If this guy is able to climb to the second level and take out this backer, the cutback lane is right there. And I think that right there can be a way they can run the football versus the Denver Broncos and have some success. They have excellent backs in the backfield. Danny Woodhead, Ryan Matthews, even Ronnie Brown as a veteran, he can see the cutback lane. So running this inside zone out of twins could put the San Diego Chargers in success, in a position to have success to knock off the Broncos once again. In the second meeting versus the San Diego Chargers, again, it's always about adjustments and not about the matchups. And how they can adjust to the passing game of the Chargers is by utilizing a quarters, half defense in certain situations. I'm going to show you how they can get that done. Now, quarters, half is simple. You're going to have quarters to one side and cover two to the other side, which is key because the reason why I like quarters, half, number one, is great against flood routes. It's great against a team that throws to the strong side of the formation, and you see that right here with the tight end. Is great versus the strong side run, and it also puts you in position to be successful with this free safety if he can get over top of the trips 1, 2, and 3. So he's in better position now to make a play because of his quarters coverage. The only downside is that you only have two weak side defenders, your nickel back and your cornerback. And you see we have a squatting corner here. That's his job, try to funnel the receiver inside, reroute him to go inside to where his help is with the nickel back who's playing, half of the field. We also have your linebackers dropping back into their coverage responsibilities. We're also going to play quarters here with the cornerback, quarters with the free safety. We're going to buzz this strong safety in the curl flat zone, and we're also getting four guys in pressure. That's another reason why I like it. You're two gapping with your defensive tackles. They're playing both sides of the guard, trying to get that interior push. But you see where you're protected underneath. You're also protected on the back end, getting the 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in underneath coverage, 3 guys deep down the field. So I think right there, attacking the Chargers passing game with quarters, half could put the Broncos in position to be successful because, again, it's all about adjustments and not about the matchups. And they have to find ways to get creative in their pass defense to get these guys off the field and put that offense back on the field with Peyton Manning. The San Diego Chargers can utilize a matchup zone versus the Denver Broncos to communicate back in the secondary. And they did a great job of that in the first meeting. And I'm going to show you how they can do something similar this time around in the playoffs. Basic route combination for Denver. They love to run the hook front side with the speed out coming here. And on the weak side, they love to send a guy down the rail while sending one guy in and curling back. Try to influence a bad decision on the weak side. They also love to send the back out of the backfield running the arrow route. So I'm going to show you how they can better protect themselves in the back end and also in their underneath coverage by communicating. And what we have to do is basically, cornerback is going to ride this stem until he sees the flat defender, offensive player threaten this area. He cuts off his trek and takes out that flat defender because we have the backer carrying underneath this hook route right here. So well protected on the front side with these two guys communicating, stopping, passing him off to the linebacker. Now we're going to have the inside backer get his drop. He sees a threat to his area. Simple read right there. He closes in on that threat, make a tackle if the ball comes to the running back. The nickelback's job is a little bit easier. He's going to carry, and this is where it can get tricky. He's going to carry this stem. And once he sees this guy, the slot defender, leave his area, he knows he can still carry and drop back into his zone because once again, he sees this guy breaking in. That's his man right there cutting underneath this curl route. And as the cornerback rides the outside of this route. Once he sees his guy vacate and also sees the slot defender come into his area, being his outside threat, he's riding that route as well. You still have the help with the two safeties deep. So again, communicating big time on the weak side between the nickel cornerback and the cornerback on the outside. Job is to carry the outside of the route. Once he sees his guy leave his area and threaten his area, that becomes his man. Now the nickelback's job is to take care of the guy that's closest to his area, which is now the outside wide receiver. So that's one way they can play a matchup zone versus the Denver Broncos and have some success in the passing game and getting Peyton Manning and that offense off the field. Versus the San Diego Chargers, you look at the Denver Broncos passing game, and I think one thing they do well is play games with the guys out there on the flanks. And one play that they love to run is the X choice, not by just a choice route, but by giving him every route in the book to run, and Peyton Manning makes the signal and tells him, based off what he sees the cornerback's coverage is saying, he tells the X receiver, which is here, what to run. Because basically what they do, they send a guy that's tight to the line of scrimmage. He's running an overall, trying to cross face of the free safety, trying to take him out of the play. Now you have streaks down here where the guy can either take it to the post or keep straight down the field, and you take the outside receiver and you run him out. So X has a choice. We're also hooking the back right here, trying to hold this linebacker. So now we have these routes declared. X choice. Peyton Manning looks at the cornerback, and if this guy is tight, he tells him, okay, you can run a slant. Okay, if he's playing a little bit inside, run the speed out. If he's playing a little off, you can probably run your comeback. If he's playing in between tight and loose, you could take it out. You could take it out down the sideline. So X choice is Peyton Manning reading the defense, reading the cornerback, giving the X receiver the route, which could change every series. Maybe this may mean hitch. Maybe this may mean, take it to the house. Maybe this may mean slant. So whatever it is, they change it up every drive, giving X the option. And sometimes they run it with all the different receivers. So this one is just called X choice for the basis of this demonstration. So again, reading the cornerback, however he's aligned, however he's seeing where the safety is tilted, Peyton Manning will tell him what route to run. And that way he can just tell him at the line of scrimmage. So the X receiver is going to have every option route available at his disposal when he goes to the line of scrimmage. And if they can have some success in communicating and also reading the coverage, Peyton Manning and that offense will have a lot of success throwing the football the second time around versus the San Diego Chargers.
The X factor for San Diego in this ballgame will be their interior offensive line. They have to play a lot better this time around versus the Broncos. Although they won the last meeting, that interior offensive line struggled versus those Broncos defensive tackles, and they have to bring their A game in order to move on to the next round. And the X factor for the Broncos will be that entire linebacking core. They have to be active and aggressive versus the run. They have to make this game a Phillip Rivers versus Peyton Manning type of a ball game, so they have to stop Ryan Matthews and company in the backfield. Otherwise, they could struggle to get these guys off the field. And that front seven of San Diego has to be aggressive defensively. That's both in the running game and also getting pressure on Peyton Manning, whether or not it's with a blitz, but your defensive line has to be aggressive in their rush lanes, and those linebackers have to be active and aggressive when stopping the run. Because a lot of times you see Charger defenders thinking on the field. You can't think versus Peyton Manning. You have to react. You have to be aggressive, and that's how you can have success defensively. You have to beat the Broncos with formations. The second meeting, very impressed with how the Chargers utilize their formations. They win a lot of double tight sets, got creative with their running back personnel, and it led them to victory. And I think they can have the same type of success keeping that Broncos defense guessing this time around. And for the Broncos in this ball game, balance is a beautiful thing. The run game complements the passing game and vice versa. If they can strike that balance, they're very tough to defend. And they want to attack Manti Te'o in the passing game. Here's a young player, a rookie that's done fine, but he struggles in pass coverage because, once again, he's thinking out there. And if you can play games with him in the passing game with different option routes, I think you can have some success. You have to win on the perimeter defensively. You cannot give up the edge in a running game versus San Diego. Otherwise, they will run the football down your throat and all day long and run to victory. So you have to make sure you seal the edges and force them back inside where your linebackers can play downhill and make the play. Now here are some in-game adjustments you want to watch for in this ball game for San Diego. How often they blitz Peyton Manning. A lot of times people say it's futile to blitz Manning, but they have to be able to get some type of pressure to throw off the timing of that passing game. And on offense, the screen game should be in effect on both ends, whether it's with the running backs or with the receivers. They have to find ways to neutralize that pressure of the Denver Broncos. And I would also look at moving the pocket for Phillip Rivers. Like I've said before, they struggled on the inside of their offensive line, the interior offensive line struggled with those defensive tackles of Denver. But when they moved the pocket, both in the running game as well as in the passing game, they were able to have success. So I would keep him on the move this game versus Denver. For the Broncos, you want to keep an eye on where the pressure will come from, whether it's interior pressure with a B-gap pressure, or will they bring guys from the outside, maybe an outside linebacker or a corner or a safety, but they have to force quick throws by Phillip Rivers. Otherwise, they could struggle and try to get these guys off the field. Now, I would also utilize multiple stunts up front. Like I mentioned before, the biggest matchup the Broncos have to win defensively is on the inside, and they have the advantage with their defensive tackles going against the center-guard combination of the Chargers, so they may confuse those guys up front with different stunts to get that interior pressure on Rivers. In the short to intermediate passing game, I believe could be successful. You want to take the death by 1,000 cuts approach versus this Chargers defense and work your way slowly down the field. In the 1994 AFC Championship game, the San Diego Chargers took on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Chargers fought back from a 13-3 third-quarter deficit to take a 17-13 lead with less than 2 minutes to go in the game. And needing a stop on 4th and goal from the 3-yard line, linebacker Dennis Gibson knocked away a kneel-down pass as the Chargers went on to Super Bowl 29. In the 1977 AFC Divisional playoffs, the Denver Broncos took on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and nursing a 6-point lead late in the fourth quarter, the Broncos needed a score to keep the Pittsburgh Steelers from coming back and winning this ball game, and quarterback Craig Morton launched a 34-yard touchdown pass to Jack Dolbin to win the ball game to put it away 34-21. I like the Broncos in this ball game. This will be the third time these teams have met this year. They split in the regular season with the Chargers winning the last game. And I think what will happen this time, Peyton Manning will be more cognizant of the fact that he has to be more balanced on offense. So I'll look for more running from No-Show Moreno, and defensively with the speed that they have in the front seven, I think they'll do enough to clog the running lanes, especially on the interior, and getting the Chargers off the field. So I see the Broncos knocking off San Diego and moving on to the AFC Championship game. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Bronco fan forums and Charger fan forums for always showing football game plan support.